Okay, so now here's my painting and it's all outlined. Notice what I've done and see if you could do the same thing. You can use different colors if you want, or you can follow what I did. I'll point out what I've done so you can follow. I took a red marker and I outlined. Remember, don't color it in. Just outline this top mountain right here. See that? And then even my sun, I outline the sun with yellow and then with some orange, and that's going to blend and make that sun color. And the inside of my tree, which was like an afro puff, you see, I went ahead and outlined it with green, and when I wet it, it's going to fill it in. On these bottom mountains, I use brown to outline the contour shape. See? The outline of the mountain. On my house, I'm making an orange house this time. You could, again, use whatever color you want. I just went with orange, okay? And then on my roof, I outlined it with washable black marker. So when it wets, it's going to become like a gray kind of color, okay? And then on my grass area, I outlined all the grass. And right here, I'm going to make I put a little brown too, so I can make like a little sandy, beach area on the other side of the river. So I use green and brown, but it's okay if you just use brown. On my little foreground bush, I went ahead and on the inside, I outlined it with oranges and yellow. So it's going to really stand out. And the grass in the background is outlined in green, see? And then last, my little boat here, I outlined in brown. And then right in here, I outlined that in black because that's the inside of the boat. So now, just like you did before, you can get your Q-tip or your paintbrush and your water. And let's go ahead and do the sun, okay? Now, when I wet my sun, first of all, when you're using fake watercolor like we are, lighter colors like yellow, sometimes they give you some trouble. So you can't use them on great big spaces, but on little spaces like our sun, yeah, it'll work. Okay, so I wet it, and the thing about the sun is let it stay a little white in the center because that white in the center is like the hottest part of our sun. Okay, I need a little bit more water. I want to get some clean water. I don't want to contaminate my yellow. So anyway, I got more water, and now I'm going to touch this orange line, and I'm going to let the orange blend in. See? Let it blend in. Now, if it gets too blended, you could take the other side, kind of tap it, and that'll dry it up. I'm going to let it blend in, and I might even pull some of that orange into the sky. See what I did there? And that part's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my mountains. So I wet my Q-tip or whatever tool you're using. And you like me to say, mountains are not red, so what's the deal with that? But you know what? I want red mountains, and because this is my watercolor picture, I can do what I want to do. So if I want red mountains, I can have red mountains. Okay? If you want, orange mountains, make them orange. This is your work. You have what's called artistic license. Okay? Now, these white spots right here are kind of like the snow caps. You know, when you go higher up in the atmosphere, it gets super cold. And so you could be in a hot place, but at the very tops, if the mountains are super high, it can get cold and snow. So I'm going to leave that portion of my mountains white. Okay? So there's that red part of my mountain. I'm going to take that same Q-tip and I'm going to come down, and look how I let the orange blend in with the brown. That's okay. This is watercolor. It could do that. So I'm going to wet everything, get some water, come back, let it just melt. Now don't pick your paper up, because if you pick your paper up to look at it, all the water will right down and then you'll have streaks, and we don't want that. So keep it flat. Okay? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do this other side. Now, if you want to do one section at a time, you can always get a blow dryer. Like if you have a blow dryer in your house, you can blow dry what's wet, and then you can hold it up and look at it. and then move on to the next section. Sometimes I do that in here to move faster. So here I go. Uh-oh, look what happened. Some of my green got into the mountain, but that's okay. So what you want to do is be careful what color you touch, because if you're not careful, you're going to bring that color into your wet area. So you got to be careful. All right, so if you need to change Q-tips, you can. I'm going to change Q-tips, and now I'm going to work on my grass. See? I might start down here. I need a little bit more water. And I wet it. See how it really wants to blend and bleed? I'm also coloring horizontally, because that way, you know, it just looks better than if you color vertically. Look at that. Look what happens there. So again, I'm trying to pull that green water into the white areas of my paper. See? All right, so it bled a little bit right here, but that's okay. I'll just go in. Here's some bushes outside my window. With watercolor, let it be, let it do. Look at that. I took some of that lighter green, and I'm just going to move it over here. It's cool. Yeah, so now you got some yellowy green areas, some regular green. Let me get over here by this tree. All right. All right, and maybe some of the brown picked up, but that's all right too. Okay, and now let's see about this area here where I had a little sand. Let's see, I don't know, it might just go green all the way. I did try to put some brown down, but that's okay if it doesn't work out. It's all right. There we go. So it's a little brown. Get some more water. It's a little brown. It's a little bit difference between the regular grass and the shore, the riverbank, the shore right here. All right, that's kind of interesting. And then I'm going to do the other side right here. Remember, just rub it. Now, I did use a different type of green. Normally, when colors are actually farther away, they look a little lighter. And that's because of all of the molecules of oxygen floating around. At great distances, when the mountains would be like a lighter color because of all the oxygen bubbles in the air. Got a little bit of science on you. Okay, so there's my green. Now I am going to switch, get another Q-tip, which I don't have, so I'm going to use my paintbrush because I don't want to bring green into my yellow-orange bush. So I'm going to use a paintbrush. If you have another Q-tip, go get one. And then I intentionally drew, look what I drew. Look how I drew that. I drew it with scribbles intentionally so it can have the texture of bushes. So I take that, and then I just swirl it around. Swirl. That's another Miss A word. I just say some stuff sometimes. Anyway, so here we go. So now I've got my bush, and I'm going to wet my brush again, and I'm going to get my brown little boat that sits here. Okay, and I'm even going to rub in here. See the black? That's the inside, so it has a little bit of a shadow. Right? Just like that. And remember, if this video is going too fast for you, go ahead and stop it and replay. That's all. And watch it again. And take it step by step. So here I am. I'm doing my treetop here. And I'm like painting swirly. So again, so I can have that same texture feeling. And all that's left is my house. Let's do the orange first because the black is such a strong color. I'm going to do the orange first. Now, orange is another color that it is kind of light, so you got to be patient. It's not going to change real quick. Got to be patient with it, okay? Right here, see? Just right there. Okay, now I'm going to go into my roof. Watch how strong, see? The washable black marker is very strong, so you got to be careful where you pull that color to, because otherwise it'll, see how it's kind of messing with my orange? But that's okay, I don't care. I let it do what it do. Might touch it right here. And because this black is so strong, I can take just what's on my brush and go to my door. I didn't even outline the door. It's just the marker ink that's on my brush. I might even take some of this black and come over to my tree. Look what I'll do. Let's see if I can. Oh, there it is a little bit. I can like take this and like make some swirls on my bushes just a little bit. Okay? Remember, watercolor is not meant to be controlled. It wants to do what it wants to do, okay? So, if everything worked out, you're looking at a watercolor with a little boat, watercolor landscape, a tree, a house, a boat, and a bush, the sun, snow-capped mountains, and a vanilla sky, okay? Oh, I can't wait to see your stuff, guys. I'm so proud of you. Bye.